What's up, cool kids? FD White. Welcome back to another edition of the Crypto Crunch, where we give you news, TA, charts, and analysis. First and foremost, let's talk about some news. MicroStrategy, or the new name Strategy, has purchased another 6,556 Bitcoin for roughly around $550 million. So this is something that we've continually been talking about from MicroStrategy, or Michael Saylor rather, in Strategy. His conviction. Nobody has more conviction than I want to call him MicroStrategy. Michael Saylor, man. Michael Saylor has been buying ever since I've been in crypto, man. I think we really started getting in crypto at the same time, really going heavy with crypto at the same time. So shout out to Michael Saylor. Not sure if this is going to turn out good in the short term, but long term, I think he's going to be massively up. I think he's probably going to be the richest person in the world, man. One of the richest people in the world, him, Satoshi, and people who purchase Bitcoin, people who are heavy in Bitcoin, people who are heavy into crypto. Really, I think these next few months we'll get some sort of a clear path as to which way we want to go in the longer term, and then we can go from there. Michael Saylor is showing that he doesn't care about short-term price action. He doesn't care about what's going on in the overall economy, what's going on in the overall world. He has a long-term mindset, so we can kind of take a little bit from that. And like I always say, Bitcoin and chill. And then once you do a little bit more research, once you want to go down a little bit more down the risk curve, then of course we could jump into some altcoins. But like I said, people ask me, what should they do? Well, how should they get into crypto? Which coin should they buy in crypto? Everybody wants 100x tomorrow. I say, just start with Bitcoin and do your homework. You don't have to do your homework about Bitcoin. Just learn about, why it was created, not what about Bitcoin, but why Bitcoin, and then start buying Bitcoin. And then once you learn a little bit about the space, how it moves, how it works, then you can start getting into, some of these other altcoins. But for, when you first get into crypto, Bitcoin. You've been into crypto, Bitcoin is like my savings account now. So we're going to continue to do that. We're going to take the Michael Saylor approach. We try to get a little bit more strategic buys, but like I said, if it's long term, then if you think Bitcoin is going to be over 80, 90, 100,000, then these prices do look attractive long term. So shout out to Michael Saylor, man. I feel like we keep talking about that every other week, talking about how he has bought more Bitcoin. So right now, I think his total holdings come up to 538,200 Bitcoin. So I think he owns like 2% of the Bitcoin supply, which is crazy to even think about. But like I said, we'll see how that plays out in the short term, but long term, I think he'll be just fine. I think he's going to do very, very well. The long-term play, I think we're going to talk about the long-term play that I think is going to happen for Michael Saylor, but thinking is bigger than just trying to just invest in and hold Bitcoin. I think it's a little bit bigger play. I think it's another play at hand, but we'll make a dedicated video talking about that. Next, I want to talk about this. So Paul Atkins, who is actually very, very, very pro crypto, has just been sworn into the U.S. SEC chairman. So he's taking over Gary Gensler's spot. Today he was sworn in. So if you don't know who he is, he's very pro crypto. I'm not going to go down his resume, but this was one of the people that, people in crypto really wanted to come and be the SEC chair. And he's one of Trump's guys as well. So this is one of the things that can move the space forward. They still need to clean it up. Like, it's a lot of fraud even from the top, like even from the president, but we're not even going to get into that. Hopefully we can get some sort of clearer regulation, especially when it comes to like these American made coins. Cause I was very, very bullish on those coming into the new year. Really, like February, around February, I was really, really bullish on these American made coins. So hopefully we can come in, get some regulation about these coins, get some regulation about DeFi, get some regulation into these meme coins, not just letting anybody launch a coin, things like that. Hopefully he can come in with being a pro crypto SEC chair. He can come in and see the value in the future. And with that, he can act accordingly and try to iron some of these rules and regulations out to a pro crypto path, but also a fair environment and a non just scummy environment. That's really what people think of when they think of crypto. So hopefully this can be a good step forward into the future, because I think crypto is the future. I don't think Bitcoin is going to just be it. I think the technology, the blockchain, all that can have a long lasting effect in many different industries, many different aspects in the world, many different aspects in life. So hopefully this can be the precursor to something good coming from that. Lastly, let's talk charts. Let's jump into some charts right now. So Bitcoin is sitting at 87,500. We had a nice breakout. Let's actually come down here. We had a nice breakout yesterday out of this bull pennant. Broke out around 85.6, got all the way up perfectly to resistance about 88.3 or 88,400. Got rejected. Right now we are looking to possibly come back up and retest this. But this is where it's going to get good. I'm going to tell you my two trading plans, and this is where it's really going to get fun. So first and foremost, I want to see us hold this trend line. So this trend line, I'm on a 4-hour time frame. So we came down, down, down. We've been touching this, popping, touch, perfect kiss. Now it looks like we might want to come back and retest around 87.1. Continue our path forward. If we lose this, I'll be looking for a retest, possibly coming down to retest the actual top of our breakout. Our breakout point is coming in at about 85,800, and then we can possibly continue our way, back going up, creating a higher low on the macro, on a larger time frame. Let's see if we could draw it out. Even if we came like that, we'll be creating some sort of a higher low here. If we take it from here, low, high, higher low, then we'll come in for a higher high, higher low, and then possibly break out. So that's one scenario or one way that I'm looking at Bitcoin potentially breaking out. We want to hold this. Equities are looking weak. Equities were down like 3%, I think, across the board, almost 3%. The Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P were all down around 3%, close to 3%, little under 3% today. So a lot of people are calling for the decoupling. I urge you to slow down. It's only been a couple days. So, but we can say this. We talked about this on my last video talking about Bitcoin is not in a bear market. We said, even though Bitcoin did come down, it didn't come down massively like we thought it would come down, as stocks have been coming down, as these tech stocks have been coming down. If you would have told me that these tech stocks would be down 15, almost 20%, they were down like 20. I think the NASDAQ was down maybe 23, 25% at one point, and Bitcoin was not under 70K, or, we were still holding that 2021 all-time high, I wouldn't have believed you. So with that being said, Bitcoin, not altcoins, certain altcoins are doing well, but the overall altcoin market does look very bearish shorter term. It looks like we are trying to climb out of that abyss, but Bitcoin dominance is high. We'll look at that in a minute. So that's going to put some pressure, or that's not going to give us any type of fuel to blast off when it comes to altcoins as an overall scope. But when it comes to Bitcoin, like I said, Bitcoin has been performing fairly well. Bitcoin is right now decoupled for today, for yesterday and today. May possibly, when futures open, Bitcoin was going up, and then the futures were going down, and then we had the market open today. It's continued to go down while Bitcoin continued to go up. So in the perfect world, what I would love to see is for us to get above this. Once we get above this 89, now we have nothing but space and opportunity. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Let's go to the daily. Now look at this. Look at this. Let's pull out our visual range volume profile. Now this is a cheat code. If you have the paid version of TradingView, you can actually, this will be one of the things that you can pull up. You can also pull a fixed volume profile. I can't remember how you do it because I always have it. It's in one of these. It might be in one of these, but you can pull a volume profile, fixed range volume profile. And what I'm looking at right now, just look at this. What do you see? What do you see here? Let's go back. Let's go back out here. What do you see here? Let's let this load. We see if we break this, it's all coming in together, If we break this 89K level, we have nothing here, pretty much nothing here, but space and opportunity to make our way back below that, our range that we want to get in. And then if we can get back above here, now we're talking. But this will be my next trade. This will definitely be my next trade. Either a retest of this 85.8 to 86K level to bounce back up to here to this 88K level. Or what I really want to see is hopefully today, or not today, tomorrow, well, overnight in the China session, hopefully tomorrow when I'm up and actually looking at the charts and trading, we can get above this 89K level here and then make our way to the bottom side of our huge range, which was coming in at 93 to 106. So let's pull this back down. So our top side here is coming in. We can just do it like this. So we got the top side coming in at, like I said, about 106 to 107K. And then we have, let's make this like that. So this is our range. This is the range that we really wanted to stay in, and we lost it. So we had the bottom, hit the top, boom, boom, came. We were trying to come back up here to break out, but we just ended up losing it and coming back down. So what I want to see is us to potentially get back in here. But first and foremost, we have to break this line here, and we have all this space and opportunity. So I think this move here, even if we just took this trade here from 89 to 93, that's a 5% move. So that's a, put a little sauce to it, like I like to say, that's a 5% move there. And then hopefully we could just break back into here. We break back into here, bull market is back on. Bull market is back on, barring. So I'm still cautious, like I said, because equities do still look bad. But if we can get back in here, let's just do it. Let's do it like this. Let's just draw it out. If we can get back in here, I mean, even if we don't just blast off, just, as soon as we get in there, if we can get in here, now it's like, okay, now all of this down here, we could just call this some sort of not a deviation, but just, we can kind of call it a deviation. Like if we go on a weekly time frame, we can call it, and then we start to reclaim this area here. So we just been in here, we came down here. We just really want to, we don't want to call it, we can't call it a deviation because we have weeks and weeks below here, but we can definitely call it, we can definitely call this reclaim area something good. And that'll be showing the strength of Bitcoin. That'll be very, very, very powerful if we can get back into this 93 to 106K level. But like I said, first and foremost, we need to break above this 89K level, shoot our way to 93, and then we'll work from there. But we don't want to jump ahead. We don't want to skip steps. We still have a lot of work to do, a lot up under here. So we're looking for a potential hold, a potential rejection here to get a nice bounce off the top side of our bull pennant to continue our way back up, and create a higher low, and then, potentially come back up here to this 88K level, or we just blast right up, hold that as support. We just pull this over here, hold this as support, and then blast our way to 93. So it's a couple, like usually you just want to have a few trading plans when it comes to trading, and just be ready. And sometimes it just takes sitting on your hands and being patient, not trying to force anything. And that's what I'm doing right now. These moves here, I'm not going to short. I'm gonna wait for longs. So like I said, I'll try to long here, I'll try to long there, and then we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. So those are the three scenarios that I'll be looking at for Bitcoin. Right now, like I said, the great decoupling is not here yet. It is looking pretty good over the past couple of days, but let's let the week play out. Let's see what equities do. I think if equities start to rally, like sometimes I've seen this, and then we'll get out of here. Sometimes I've seen, let's go to the NASDAQ. So sometimes I've seen, on us NVIDIA. Sometimes I've seen the NASDAQ or the S&P start to rally after Bitcoin has had rally, and the equities have been going, indices have been going down. Once indices start to rally or equities start to rally, then Bitcoin will start to roll over. So hopefully we don't get that. Hopefully we get some sort of tech rally or some sort of equity or indice rally, and then Bitcoin, that gives Bitcoin a little bit more power to blast through this resistance and get our way back up to that 93. Gold has been acting as a safe haven, so we want to follow gold. Gold has been outperforming Bitcoin, I think, by like 40% this year. So hopefully Bitcoin can get on track. Hopefully Bitcoin can do what it was meant to do, be a hedge against inflation, be a hedge against all this nonsense that's going on with the fiat community. And hopefully we can just figure it out, make some money, and hopefully we can get some of these altcoins to move. Like I said, before we get out of here, Bitcoin dominance is still going up. We talked about this over in the Telegram, the Cool Kids Alpha Club. We said Bitcoin is at 64 and rising. So without this rolling over and putting some money into, or getting some volume and some power into alts will get dragged up, going up as Bitcoin goes up, but we're not going to get any type of significant moves in the overall altcoin space until this starts to roll over. So Bitcoin is, I like this. I like that Bitcoin is going up. I like that the Bitcoin dominance is going up. It's showing that Bitcoin is king, Bitcoin is daddy, and Bitcoin is kind of acting as a safe haven these past couple of days, and hopefully it can continue, man. So that's all, pretty much it, man. We'll come back tomorrow with some more. We'll put some trades into Telegram. We've been kind of busy. We did take 2 trades over on the Breakout terminal. We were 2 for 2. We took out 2 payouts yesterday. Got our payout in under 12 hours. I think we got our payout around 8 a.m., 9 a.m. We put it in, we put the request in to get paid out around 7 or 8 p.m. yesterday. So we got paid out in under 12 hours. Shout out to Breakout Prop Firm. I do have a link in the description below if you want to become a funded trader. Breakout Prop Firm, man, it's the cheat code. I'm trying to tell you, if you can get $100,000 account, you have a $6,000 drawdown. Just all together, you have a $4,000 daily drawdown, and then you can just make everything over 100,000 is yours. So it's the cheat code. You don't even have to be trading huge numbers. You just have that extra space below if you want to just, take it day by day, be a day trader, make a couple $100 a day with that $100,000 account, man. It's the cheat code, I'm trying to tell you. So make sure you do your homework, due diligence, and this is not financial advice, but this is good advice, in my opinion. So hopefully we can all make some money and get this bull market back on. I love when the bull market is back on. My dopamine is flowing. Everything is going good. We always locked in, but we really locked into the charts when things are moving. We're trying to find that next move. So hopefully that comes back soon, and everybody is still in this space and still ready and got money to and they have money to actually get into the game. That's the thing. You don't want to get chopped out while the market is super choppy, while everything is going up, everything is going down quick. You want to pay yourself quick so you can have some dry powder, you can have some money, some fuel to light the rockets when the market does start to take off again. So it's FD White, man. I appreciate everybody for watching. I'll talk to you in a minute. Peace.